What's up guys, Readiness Reviews back again. I felt like doing a quick little MRE lunch today. So I think we're gonna take a look at this Ameriqual APack Ready Meal, self-heating emergency meal, macaroni and beef in sauce from the 293rd day of 2011. I've had one meal out of this case of meals previously, and it was in nice edible condition, so I'm assuming this will be the same way. This is a 2011 civilian MRE packed by the Ameriqual group, who is one of the three main distributors of US military MREs, and of those three, I believe they are the largest. This entire meal is 1,270 calories, 180 grams of carbs, so this is not exactly a light lunch I'm having. The pack weighs just over a pound, and this menu is not a menu that I recall being in MREs before. Macaroni and beef and sauce. I don't know if it goes by a different name in US military MREs. I'm actually kind of curious to see what this thing is. So let's go ahead and bust this open and see what we have inside. I think I'll be opening that with my Bear & Sons Bow Song. Of course, on the outside of that pack, it's in the standard Ameriqual see-through plastic packaging. You have your sleeve with nutrition facts that we were already looking at. Here's the retort pouch for the main. 279th day of 2011. Little heater sleeve. 2-ounce oatmeal cookie. 280 calories. A standard pack of plain MRE crackers. A 1.5-ounce pack of MRE peanut butter. A thermo pack FRH water. This is sort of a saltwater solution, not for drinking, that you add to your flameless ration heater. A toaster pastry, frosted brown sugar. That feels to be broken up in there. It's a very common item across civilian, commercial-based MREs. Pack of raisins osmotic, 140 calories on those. That's a 1.5-ounce pack. A moist towelette, a spoon, and an FRH. There are no seasonings or spices or drinks or any of that included in this meal. It is strictly food only, and they do throw in a little moist towelette just to clean up with. So let's go ahead and get the main rocking. I've had very good luck with these APack flameless ration heaters. I think I'll put the main in there along with the toaster pastry. Slice open our little water pack here. And we'll try to get that right on the heating pad. There wasn't very much water in that pack. Maybe some of it evaporated or something. I've had one of these old APACs before. It was from 2008. And almost this entire thing was evaporated. There might have been that much water in the bottom of it. This is making some sounds already. We'll fold this over and give that a good shake just to get that whole pad nice and moist. And that's definitely already producing some heat, so it's looking like we're gonna have a nice warm meal. Stick that in the cardboard sleeve, and I'll set that aside. Well, let's get the rest of this stuff plated up. I actually added a little bit more water to the FRH because that didn't seem to be quite enough. And it's really cranking now. It's producing some steam and a good amount of sound. This is a very simplistic meal. There's not really any extras. It's designed specifically to feed people in times of emergency. The majority of the content of the ration is indeed food. Well, let's open up some of these things and see what they're looking like. We'll check out our Osmotic Raisins first. Just look at those in the pack, very dark in there. Let's give that a smell. They smell nice and sweet. Doesn't really have much of that motor oil smell, but maybe just a little bit. I'm not a big fan of MRE raisins. They seem to be a little bit chemically tasting. These might be okay though. We'll get those on the tray. They seem to be nice and plump. At this point, this ration is near 9 years old, so it definitely has some age on it. Usually I find that MRE raisins aren't that good past 5 years or so. Let's look at this oatmeal cookie. This is sort of a different little pack than what I'm used to. It has a tear notch. The cookie's fairly blonde in appearance. It's held up well. It's not all broken up or anything. Pretty standard stuff. Nice size to it. MRE crackers. Those were under vacuum. Corner's a little bit crumbly, but other than that, those are in good shape. They're very light in complexion. Smell fantastic though. So in this ration, I think this peanut butter is gonna be a commodity. I'm gonna be wanting to add it to quite a few things in here. We'll give this a quick knead, and we'll put a little bit of that on this cracker. Don't want to go on too thick because I do want to save some of this for some other components. And I'm definitely going to want to try this cookie with some peanut butter on it, so I'll break that in half. It's very crumbly. I'll put a little bit of peanut butter on this. That should be quite nice. I'm pretty hungry, so while our main is doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and sample a couple of these other items. Let's go straight into these raisins and take a look at them. So they look fine. They're a little bit sticky, and they look a little bit greasy, but they have that characteristic osmotic raisin smell. Let's just go ahead and try that whole handful. They're okay. You can tell that these might have had maybe another year or two in them at the most. and they would have been thoroughly disgusting. As they are right now, though, they are still edible. They have a bit of that weird glycerin thing going on. Has sort of a synthetic chemical flavor akin to some type of oil of some sort. But with the age that they are, I'd say they're holding up pretty well. I'm eyeballing this cracker with peanut butter. Let's taste that corner piece. Oh man, does that draw the mouth out. But it's pretty awesome. I've said it time and time again, you can't go wrong with crackers and peanut butter. This is a civilian ration though, so there is a chance that someone would be eating this in an emergency situation, maybe without power or something, but they're still in their home and still have the luxuries of everyday civilian life. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to try this with something that you might have in your home. This is some homemade peach preserves. I picked these peaches and made the preserves myself last year. This is an unopened can here. I only have a couple of these left. I've been keeping it in the refrigerator. Let's see if it's still under vacuum itself. Oh, yeah, it had a nice pop to it. It's been a while since I sampled this batch. It was very good before. There's a look at that homemade peach preserve. It's very thick. I think about the only ingredients I put in this were peaches, sugar, and lemon juice, I believe. There's a nice healthy portion on our cracker there. And let's spread that out. Peach doesn't mix with peanut butter the best, but it's definitely better than nothing. And this preserve is pretty fantastic. Just huge pieces of real fruit in there. That should take care of our dryness problem. Let's try that out. Oh yeah, that's better in every way. Those preserves are sweet and tart, have a nice fruitiness of the peach. It just mixes really well with the MRE cracker and pretty well with the peanut butter also. Now, of course, if you weren't using this ration in the comfort of your own home, you might not have the luxury of adding jam or jelly or preserves to it. But if you are, you might as well give it a try. I'm just gonna finish this whole cracker off. That's good stuff. One last bite. Let's see what kind of temperature our FRH is looking like. On the outside of the sleeve, highest number I saw was about 146, 150, which is pretty normal. Let's pull it out of that sleeve. And there's just the retort pouch to see what the temperature on it's looking like. Now about 140. That's fairly warm. Toaster pastry is about 130, 120. So I think we're good to take this out. Let's open up this toaster pastry first. It's all wet, so I might need some assistance from my knife. That's in several pieces, but it does feel nice and warm actually. Heck, let's get a bite of this right now. The heat makes it sort of fall apart, but it's good heated, that's for sure. That's definitely the way to go. Heat these up if you get them. It makes it a lot more soft and pliable. The retort pouch has a horizontal tear notch. Put a little nick in this. Open that up. There's our main. Looks a lot like chili mac. Smell that. I think that's sort of what this is. This might be their weird version of chili mac. Looks like it has a lot of liquid in it. It looks pretty nice though. Doesn't seem to be very much meat, mostly sauce and noodles, and it does feel nice and warm. Here's the inside of the pouch. Let's see what temperature the main actually is. Right around 140. That's pretty good. All right, let's see what we can see in here. Of course, we got our elbow macaroni. There's little beef crumbles. There's a tiny little piece of what looks like onion. The sauce that it's in is fairly thick. It sticks to the spoon well. Not too much else in there. Let's get a heaping spoonful of that. Even in this spoonful, you can tell it is mostly sauce. Let's taste that. This is 100% chili mac is what this is. It's not a very good chili mac, but chili mac can only get so bad. I mean, this is very edible. The sauce is surprisingly thick and coats the inside of your mouth in a good way. The macaroni is super tender and just kind of falls apart. It has a distinct flavor of tomato. I can tell it has onion, a little bit garlicky, and it has that distinct chili flavor from chili powder. That's actually pretty good. Again, it's not to the quality of the regular military made chili mac, but this is a pretty good approximation. I think it'll do nicely with a little bit of cracker added to it. That way it can just sort of thicken everything up and sort of soak that juice up a little bit. I figured it would be bland, but it's actually not overly bland. It doesn't need salt or anything like that, I don't think. It has just that tiniest bit of spice that you get from chili powder, but I like my stuff a little bit hotter than that. So since we're, again, doing a civilian MRE, I have plenty of hot sauce in my house. So I think I'm gonna add a little hot sauce to this. This is the Tropical Pepper Company brand Scorpion Pepper Hot Sauce. This stuff will light you up. It is pretty dang hot. We have on the bottle there, 780,000 Scovilles. That's probably about right. Doesn't take much of this. A couple drops will do you. And that should be plenty for this amount of food. This sauce has real like pepper chunks in it. You can actually taste the fruit of the pepper. The cracker's really soaking that juice up quickly. And let's get a taste of that with our hot sauce and cracker. Now that is a spoonful. The heat did just the right thing to this to really just make it perfect for my palate. Oh yeah, well that is very good. I could just keep eating that, but we have other things to do. Whew, that sauce is hot. All right, so we'll get a little bit of our toaster pastry, and I want to squeeze some peanut butter on that. I don't think I've ever had this frosted brown sugar toaster pastry with peanut butter. Seems like they would go together fairly well. The top part is frosting, the bottom part is peanut butter. Let's try that. Oh yeah. Hey, that's better than the peanut butter was in the cracker. I gotta go in for another one of those. That little bit of residual heat in the heated toaster pastry makes the peanut butter a lot more soft, and just the cinnamony peanut butter mix is very nice. There's a ton of sugar in this ration and a heck of a lot of carbs, but it is very tasty for what it is. There's a look at the cross section of our oatmeal cookie. Let's go ahead and get a taste of that. I've had this several times on the channel, and they're always good. Very dry and crunchy, and has a lot of sugar to it. Light cinnamon flavor. I'd say that's pretty delightful. Let's go in for a bite of that with the peanut butter on it. Oh yeah, it's better in every way. And I even think this will help the raisins to be a little bit more palatable as well. Now we have an oatmeal raisin peanut butter cookie. Let's give that one a try. The raisin flavor really doesn't shine through, which is a good thing in my opinion. It adds some nice texture variation. This is actually pretty good, and I think that's probably how I'll eat the rest of the raisins and the cookie. Well, that was the review, guys. That was an APack Ready Meal by Ameriqual, macaroni and beef in sauce from 2011. And I must say, that was a pretty dang good civilian MRE. In general, civilian MREs don't really hold up to the full-on military version of MREs, but if you can do without the drinks and the other little side items, the actual food content of this thing is pretty spot on. I'm a big fan of chili mac, which is what this is, even though the name is a little bit misleading. So I was very happy with this one. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought about the video down in the comments. And if you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I have more stuff like this coming in the future. We will catch you guys in the next video. See you then. Peace.